So yeah, I bought a tank because I'm tired, and of course the tank misses the Puma. I'm not using direct control here. I'm just telling it to attack because typically the AI is very good at aiming, but twice now it has bit me in the butt. And you notice I bought a tank crewman, and I put one of the men in the T-34. By default, almost every tank comes with that time I direct controlled and I owned him. Wait, no, that's an AT gun. So I'm like, whoops. See, look, I shoot his frickin' AT gun and it doesn't blow up. Although I wasn't using HE shells, so that's understandable. But you can kill an AT gun with AP shells too. They're only so resilient. I'm trying to kill that because I don't want my tank to die. But yeah, most tanks come with like 4 men, and that's a driver, a gunner, a loader, and I don't know what the heck. He's like the leader. His job is to just yell at people. That's got to be the best job in the tank. But if you put a 5th man on, they will mount the gun on top. Most tanks have a gun on top to protect them from evil things like birds and butterflies if you're Russians. So I often buy tank crewmen because, hey, tank crewmen only cost 1 point. I put one of the men on the tank, and I use the other for nefarious purposes, which I'm not going to go into right now. But it's okay. It's probably not illegal in certain states. Maybe not the state I'm in. I'm in Missouri. We're not very liberal with things here in Missouri. I just flew in from Seattle almost, let's see, hour ago? I don't know. I'm not keeping track. I'm installing Windows 7 soon, which means I'm wiping everything off this drive, so I'm trying to get all these games shoutcasted. Also, because this is the last free time I'm going to have till I'm about 65, maybe 70. I don't know, I kind of plan on working longer than that. So I am being considerate again in sending over a tank to help my friend. I saw he was having Panzer IV troubles, but luckily that was the weak Panzer IV. They forgot to weld the armor onto the sides or anything like that, so I figure my T-34 has a pretty good chance of fighting it. The T-34-76 being a better version of the T-34, not the cheapest. Brandenburg Commando, whining about some sort of bug, something turning sideways, and I killed a Puma too. Don't mess with the T-34, guys. It's got sloping armor on the front, and that is badass. The Russians knew exactly what was up. The Germans reluctantly copied them with the Panther, and it was a good time for all, except the tank crewmen. And so apparently I bought assault infantry while I wasn't paying attention to my own game. And the thing about Russian assault infantry, one of the guys, he comes with a flamethrower, and that is just awesome. I know I was talking about HE shells for killing people, or AP shells for killing people in buildings. That's all bullshit. Bring a flamethrower. Dynamite? Bullshit. Flamethrower is what you want. Okay, flamethrower, there is no problem a flamethrower cannot solve. Your meat is undercooked? Flamethrower. You need something set on fire? Flamethrower. There's an AT gun in the middle of the road for God knows what reason, unprotected by any enemy infantry, and you just need to take it out? Flamethrower. Did I already say set on fire? Because a flamethrower is really good at that. George Carlin has a sketch about flamethrowers. It's actually, I favorited it on YouTube, and since you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to my profile and look at my favorite movies, and there's a George Carlin flamethrower sketch in there. So there you go. I don't know what killed my tank crewman just now. I might have backed over him. I don't think I did. If anybody asks, if the Russian Internal Commission report people ask, I did not back over that man. But yeah, you do have to be careful ordering your tanks around. Oh no, he's alive. He just got shot or something. Typically, infantry are very, very good about getting out of the way of tanks, or at least getting out of the way of friendly tanks. Enemy tanks, sometimes they're not so great and they end up cratered or squished or whatever it is that happens to people. My tank is not shooting. I don't know why, so I'm going into direct control. That typically solves everything. And kaboom! Did I miss or what? I don't know. In any case, I'm good. I have my front armor pointed towards him. Panzer IVs. Those Panzer IVs typically have trouble penetrating T-34 front armor. I've destroyed his turret so he can still shoot at me. I'm not really worried, and hull crushed. I'm not really worried, especially because I just killed the people in the turret, because like the people are in the turret and they're shooting at you and they're loading the gun and stuff, and then you go boom, shoot through the turret. Those guys are dead. Okay, mincemeat. Don't even, like, they're gone. Don't even, they're not coming back, all right? So there are still 2 people left in the tank, the guy who's driving and the guy who just sits around reading porno mags or whatever, jerking off. And so they can get back in the turret even if the turret is destroyed and start firing, because turret destroyed just means it can't turn left or right or anything. It can still shoot at you. The gun is fine. You can destroy the gun. I don't know, someone just killed my T-34. Just got spec ops, so that sucked. Spec ops is my shorthand way of saying someone snuck up behind me and destroyed me. Infantry, so that was bad. But so the gunner and the guy who's jerking off to the porno can get back up into the turret and shoot at you, but I wasn't worried about that because you saw his tank was driving, and to drive, the tank does need a driver. So somebody's driving. that actually does leave one guy to man the gun, so I was kind of in danger, but it's one guy to man the gun and to load the gun, so it was going to take him a little while to load the gun anyways, and I'm a Cavalier dude, it's not even my tank, I'm just loaning it, it's just on loan from Stalin, it's the people's tank, everybody owns the tank. If I lose that tank, I'm only losing my share of the tank, which is 1/4 millionth or however many people are in Russia before World War II happened and killed them all, and then famine. But what was my point? Yeah, so if you knock out a lot of the crew in the tank and you see it driving around, you can be sure it's going to have weakened, if not completely destroyed, potential for damaging you, because the tank can only do as much as there is people in the tank to do things. It's a Zen thing, isn't it? I wonder what killed my T-34. Might have been dynamite or something, but that usually destroys the tank outright. We may never know. But we're actually doing really well, me and lollybo. Maybe this is when we weren't rusty, but I'm pretty sure this is when we were rusty. I don't think we ever stopped being rusty. We played like 8 games, and then it was time for winter break. But we have all 3 points. So if you look in the upper right, our points are ticking up. Okay, we only have 470, 480 points, 490. Wow, those tick up pretty fast. We only have 500 points versus their 670 points. So if you hold all 3, that is really nice for you, but you will quickly find it's difficult to hold all 3. And you see I've bought these Royal Marines on the left to hold it off the people, and I'm also buying a tank and some tank crewmen. And typically if you hold all 3 points, I guess there's 2 ways you could think about it. You could think now it's time to be cautious, just react to whenever they attack, and you have the upper hand, so really you have breathing room to sit back and wait for them to play their next move, and you can counter them where it's best to counter them, and that's one way to do it, and that's certainly a good way to do it if you feel like playing that way. I don't really like that way. If I hold all 3 points, that's my signal to consolidate the hold, buy as much crap as possible. I usually hold back. I am extremely stingy in real life and in Men of War and in all video games. I typically hate spending money. Really, to a bad degree. I should honestly buy a lot more units, but when I have all 3 points, often I'll just go whole hog, buy a whole bunch of crap, and just send it everywhere, try and fight off the opponent before I even know what's coming. And what you pay for, you sacrifice the potential to, you see I'm firing through this building, or at least I will be pretty soon, I think, trying to kill this Puma. Whoa, that's a Panzer IV, so now I'm going to shoot through the building to get the Panzer IV, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to predict what I'm going to do, but apparently I'm not very good at it. Okay, yeah, I shot through the building, but it didn't even kill it. You do lose penetration potential when you go through a building because the round loses speed. But, sucker, did I just get his main gun? I think so. Yeah, main gun destroyed. So he is screwed. He cannot fire back at me except with a machine gun on the hull. So I'm just going to drive in and kill him. The closer I am, the more damage the round does. It loses less speed. Here's a Puma, too. I'm scared of that, but stuff is just bouncing the heck off my tank. That's what the tank is for. I'm still scared of the Puma. Puma can do serious damage. Crew contused. It doesn't say confused. I know it's confusing. But, oh, God. Puma hits this sweet spot. Probably shot right up the barrel. Like I was saying, I typically buy a bunch of stuff when I've got all 3 points because what you pay for in terms of like it's bad because you're not going to be able to send what you need where you need it. Like if you're just buying crap left and right, you won't be able to purchase an AT gun when you know the opponent's got a tank or something. But you do keep them on the back foot, and they just have to sling through more stuff to get to all 3 points. And so although they might come up against stuff that's a little. You might not have stuff as well suited to fighting the enemy, but you're going to have a lot of stuff everywhere, and it just gives them too much to think about, or at least a lot of stuff to think about, and it just makes them think twice about assaulting a position when they come up against all sorts of crazy stuff. That's my philosophy.